Hello everyone, thank you all for being here today. I'm pleased to see all your faces because I know that the reason why you're all here is because you all are concerned for your health, otherwise you wouldn't have to be here. For those of you who have never been to my workshop today, could you please introduce yourself and give me a little bit of reasoning as to why you're here today?
Hello. Hello. My name is Mark. I decided to come to Dr. Ferrante's Fighting Disease with Food workshop because I was recently diagnosed with colon cancer.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Mark. Cancer can be a really debilitating disease, but luckily you're in the pre-stages, so you have a chance, and I'm hoping that you'll take something out of today's lesson, and I hope that I begin to see your face on a more regular basis.
Thank you. After reading your research, I am excited.
Okay, well, let us get started today then. Today I'm going to be talking about an excellent food fighter for disease, the turmeric root. Turmeric is of the ginger family. It is often found in Indian cuisines such as curry, and it is actually what gives curry its yellow color. Turmeric has been studied intensively, and it has been found that it has anti-cancer properties, anti-inflammatory, as well as antioxidant properties. It can be eaten in various ways, although the fresh root, you get the most benefits from eating it fresh. So now I will show you all a very simple and tasty way to get the most out of this miraculous root, while also explaining the beneficial effects that it has on the body. And first off, I will show you how to make my favorite drink, turmeric tea. So I will start off by saying that turmeric can be found in the spice aisle of your grocery store, but I personally avoid buying it as a spice as it has been pre-processed, and so some of the curcumin, the main active ingredient in turmeric, is lost. And so to begin to make the tea, I take the turmeric root, as you see here. I peel off the outer layer of the skin. It's just a little dirty and not necessarily needed. Grate it with a cheese grater, and then boil water, and how much water really depends on how much turmeric you're using. I say roughly 100 grams of turmeric per 5 cups of water. And so once the water boils, you will add the grated turmeric to the water, agitate it a little bit, and this is what you'll see here. I have some grated turmeric in boiling water, and I'm letting it steep. Steep time is about 5 to 10 minutes. And so what we're actually doing here is extracting the curcumin, which the curcumin is really what's behind all of turmeric's abilities. And so while we let that steep, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you some of the benefits of eating turmeric as far as its anti-cancer and inflammatory properties. So here I'll show you is the chemical structure of curcumin. To most, this is just a bunch of lines and letters, but this 2D drawing is actually representing a 3D structure of atoms that make up the curcumin molecule. And so as a study found conducted on unfortunate lab mice, the administration of curcumin actually stopped the appearance of tumors that would have been caused by carcinogenic agents that were applied to the mice. So essentially, cancer didn't grow even though the mice were exposed to carcinogens, which, if you don't think that's amazing, another study, which this time it was taking place in a culture, so they grew cancer cells and then administered curcumin to the cancer cells, and it actually stopped and slowed tumor growth by a noticeable, significantly different amount. So that's absolutely wild. They suggested this was due to curcumin's ability to prevent angiogenesis, which is basically the growing of new blood vessels. And I will add for your benefit, Mark, that another study found that curcumin actually reduced the size of polyps, which is a precursor for cancers such as colon cancer.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. And while this is only a study, the results were not fixed. And honestly, part of curcumin's cancer-fighting abilities has everything to do with it being an antioxidant. So curcumin structure is like that of many other plants. It's big and full of electrons, and basically what antioxidants do is they fight free radicals, which free radicals in the body can cause damage to things such as DNA, which leads to mutations, which then can lead to things like cancer. And so antioxidants, they donate their excess electrons and quench the free radicals. So, as my old chemistry professor always used to say, eat your electrons. And what better way to get your antioxidants than with something that's also anti-cancer? And if those health benefits weren't enough to make you want to consider adding turmeric to your diet, how about its role as an anti-inflammatory? It's been observed that curcumin reduces the amount of the enzymes that create the inflammatory molecules in your body. Inhibition of these enzymes is essentially what things like aspirin do, and I'd like to add that aspirin is lethally toxic at high doses, and curcumin, even with the highest dose, not toxic at all. That being said, people who suffer from chronic inflammation illnesses such as arthritis or eczema, or honestly anything that can cause inflammation, could seriously benefit from a regular administration of this molecule. The human body is prone to things like inflammation, and people tend to reach for the drug cabinet in hopes to stop the effects of inflammation. Well, here's something of the earth whose side effects include fighting cancer and radical quenching, and it makes you feel better. On that note, I think our tea is about done, so I will give you all a sample to try. What do you think?
Delicious.
Good, right? And that's just pure turmeric right there. Nothing else. So I'd like to leave you all with this today. All this information I've told you about the turmeric root is all things I've learned from scientific studies, all of which you can read yourself with a little bit of research. The results of these studies are real, and while this is not proof that turmeric is the new cure to cancer, it does mention that these effects are real, and the effects of turmeric greatly reduces your risk of things like cancer. That being said, I can't tell you a true reason why I think you should add turmeric to your diet, but I will tell you that I drink the tea every day. Not just because I know what's going on a molecular level, but because it can do nothing but good, and I honestly feel better when I drink this tea. I'm deciding to take the preventative side when it comes to disease instead of hoping for the next big treatment. That is something that I hope you all will learn from my class. Cancer, while in some cases can be unavoidable, is a disease that happens over time, and there are so many ways that you can prevent it and lower your risk. And in your case, Mark, I don't think that you've reached a standstill. You haven't been diagnosed, and you don't have to wait for the cancer to take over and wait to have to go to treatments. Take action. Arm yourself with weapons of food, and remember that nature is very intelligent, and if you work with her, good things will come. Thank you, everybody, for coming today.